Welcome to the WSET Level 3 Award in Spirits. If you're watching this, you are likely preparing to embark on an advanced journey into the world of distilled beverages. This qualification is designed to give you a thorough knowledge and understanding of global spirits, focusing heavily on the factors that account for their style and quality. Before you begin or consider this certification, it's highly recommended that you have either passed the WSET Level 2 Award in Spirits or possess a very advanced level of industry knowledge. Let's dive in. All right, let's talk a little bit about the time commitment. This is a demanding course. WSET recommends a total qualification time of 84 hours. This is broken down into 32 and a half hours of learning, which includes classroom time and the educator-led time and the 2-hour and 40-minute exam, along with a massive 51 and a half hours of private study time. If you do not plan and dedicate time for this unsupervised private study, you're going to find the final exam very difficult. It's a lot of material. We recommend spreading your study sessions out and avoiding long, intense periods of cramming. Your primary tools are going to be the specification, the study guide, and the textbook. Now, the textbook contains absolutely everything you need to know to pass. Now, the course content is split into two primary units, theory and tasting. For the theory unit, your learning is divided into three distinct outcomes. We have our principles of spirits production. This is learning outcome 1. You're going to dive deeply into the raw materials, fermentation, distillation, and post-distillation operations. You will need to understand the science of yeast, the mechanics of pot stills and column stills, and the impact of oak maturation. Then we have a selection of global spirits. This is our learning outcome 2. Here you apply those production principles to major spirit categories. You're going to learn about Scotch whiskey, American whiskey, cognac, Armagnac, Caribbean rum, tequila, mezcal, vodka, and gin. Then we have our other named global spirits in learning outcome 3. This is where a lot of the multiple choice questions come from. This outcome broadens your global knowledge, covering spirits like Irish and Japanese whiskey, shochu, baijiu, sochu, pisco, grappa, calvados, and flavored spirits. And for the tasting unit, just like in previous levels, you're going to use the level 3 systematic approach to tasting spirits, the SAT. The goal is to develop your skills to produce a complete, accurate description of a spirit, assess its quality level, and identify its category and type. Remember, none of the samples you taste in the exam will be faulty. Teaching faults assessment is not the aim of this course. Now let's take a quick look at the examination format. You have to sit both the theory and tasting exams at the same sitting. Let's start with the tasting exam, which is, they call that Unit 2. You're going to have exactly 30 minutes to assess 2 spirits served blind in neutral bottles. These 2 samples will be drawn exclusively from the following categories: Scotch whiskey, American whiskey, grape brandy, either cognac or Armagnac, sugarcane spirits, agave spirits, or gin. The tasting exam is worth a total of 50 marks, meaning there are 25 marks available for each sample. Now here's exactly how those 25 marks are broken down. Our appearance, 2 marks, 1 mark for intensity, 1 for color. Nose is 5 marks, 1 mark for aromatic intensity, and 4 marks for aromatic characteristics, covering raw material, processing, and oak. Then we have the palate, which is 10 marks. You're going to assess sweetness, flavor intensity, texture, flavor characteristics, and the length and nature of the finish. Crucially, your comments on texture must be written in full sentences. Then the conclusion, which is worth 8 marks. There's 2 marks for correctly identifying the category and the type of the spirit. 1 mark for the quality level, and then 4 marks for your argument justifying that quality level. And then 1 final mark for the correlation between your argument and the stated quality. Now, to pass the tasting exam, you must achieve a score of at least 55%, which equates to 28 out of 50 marks. And it's not like the theory where if you fail one, you have to pass both. You can fail one and rock the other one to get that 28. A quick tip for this tasting exam is don't let yourself be rushed. We recommend just allocate exactly 15 minutes to each sample. Trust your senses. Do not jump to conclusion about the spirit's identity too early. Don't let that guide your note. Build your quality argument using direct evidence from your tasting notes. Then we move on to the theory exam, or Unit 1, which lasts for 2 hours and 10 minutes. I don't know why. It's divided into 2 distinct parts. Part 1 are 50 multiple choice questions worth 1 mark each. These questions are going to test your breadth of knowledge across all 3 learning outcomes. Marks are not subtracted for incorrect answers, so never leave a question blank. You've got to get 55%, 28 marks to pass this specific section. We strongly recommend spending no more than 40 minutes tops on part 1, or the multiple choice. If you've taken the level 3 in wine, don't assume they are as passable as those ones. My experience was the multiple choice was harder than the wine, and the short answer was maybe a little easier due to a somewhat smaller scope. But it's still challenging. Part 2 consists of 10 short answer questions worth a total of 80 marks. This part assesses your depth of knowledge and your ability to describe and explain production principles. It's very important for you to note that Part 2 only covers learning outcomes 1 and 2. You will not be asked short answer questions on other named global spirits like Shochu, Baijiu, or Grappa, though production techniques like parallel fermentation may still appear in a general context. The 10 questions are structured as follows. You have 6 5-mark questions, 3 10-mark questions, and 1 20-mark question. You're going to need 55% or 44 marks to pass Part 2. We recommend spending 80 minutes here at least, pacing yourself at roughly 1 mark per minute. It's very important to master these command verbs in short answer questions. It's sort of the secret is to understand what the examiners are actually asking for. By looking carefully at the command verbs, they'll be in the prompt, either state, identify, or list. If they're asking for simple factual recall. If asked to list 4 outputs of yeast, bullet points are perfectly acceptable. You don't have to waste your time writing paragraphs. Now, describe. This requires you to arrange factual information in the correct chronological order. You should answer these in full sentences, but you do not need to provide explanations. That comes from explain. This is the most demanding command verb. You must demonstrate why something happens or how a process influences the final style. When writing an explanation, imagine someone is constantly asking you why after every sentence you write. Making clear links between facts is what earns you marks here in explain. All right, finally, let's have a look at how your final grade is calculated. To achieve the WSET Level 3 award in spirits, you must achieve a passing mark of 55% in all 3 individual parts of the assessment: the multiple choice questions, the short answer questions, and the tasting. A fail in any individual part will result in a failing grade for the entire qualification. If you pass all 3, your final result is calculated as the mean average of those 3 percentages. A mean average of 55 to 64% earns you that pass. That total average of 65% to 79% gets you your pass with merit, and then 80% or more mean average across the 3 earns a pass with distinction. That's provided you have no result below 65% in any individual part of the assessment. Now, this course is a rigorous and highly rewarding challenge. This is kind of to be expected in a globally recognized and highly respected certification. To succeed, respect the required private study hours. Practice writing full tasting notes without looking at that SAT card, and ensure you are answering exactly what the command verbs are asking in that short answer section. Now, if you're one of our students, throw as many answers into our tasting note and short answer evaluation and feedback tools as you can. You can't prepare too much for this. Good luck with your studies. And if you can, try to enjoy this deep dive into the fascinating world of spirits. Slans.